Crypto, Decoded, Episode 3. Who verifies crypto? Mining versus staking. Last episode, we said two strange things and then walked away from both. One, Bitcoin secures itself. No bank, no boss, nobody in charge. And two, doing that burns about as much electricity as an entire country. So today, we pay that off. Because underneath every cryptocurrency is one impossible-sounding question. How do millions of strangers, who've never met and don't trust each other, agree on who owns what with no referee? It turns out there are two answers. One runs on electricity. The other runs on money. Quick recap to set this up. In Episode 1, we said a blockchain is a shared notebook, copied across thousands of computers, where nobody owns the master and nobody can secretly erase a page. In Episode 2, we said Bitcoin is money written into that notebook. But we skipped the hardest part. If there's no bank and no master copy, who decides which transactions are real and who gets to write the next page? Here's why that matters. Imagine I have one coin and I try to spend it twice. I send it to you, and at the same instant, I send the same coin to someone else, and I try to scribble both into the notebook. In the old world, a bank is the referee that catches this. Crypto deleted the referee, so it needs another way for thousands of strangers to agree on one version of the truth, and to make cheating that truth incredibly hard. That mechanism has a name: consensus, and there are two main flavors: meet proof of work and proof of stake. Start with the original, proof of work. This is how Bitcoin does it. To earn the right to add the next block, computers all over the world, we call them miners, compete in what's basically a giant guessing game. The network sets a fiendishly hard puzzle, and miners race to solve it by trying random numbers, trillions of times a second, until one of them stumbles on the winning answer first. It's a lottery you win by guessing fastest. Whoever wins gets to add the block and collects the prize: brand new Bitcoin plus fees. That's the reward we kept mentioning last episode. And here's the clever part. Solving the puzzle is brutally hard, but checking the answer is instant. So the moment someone wins, everyone else can verify it in a blink and move on. Which finally answers the big question. Why burn all that electricity? Because the work is the lock. To fake transactions or rewrite history, you'd have to outguess the entire honest network combined, which means outspending all of them on hardware and power. It would cost you far more than you could ever steal. The energy isn't waste. It's a wall made of electricity that's simply too expensive to climb. You're not trusting a person to be honest. You're trusting that no one can afford to cheat. The price of that wall? It's exactly why Bitcoin draws a country's worth of power, well over 100 terawatt hours a year, with the network making something like a billion guesses every second. Defenders say that's a fair cost for money with no trusted middleman, and that more than half now runs on renewables. Critics say it's still an enormous amount of energy. We weighed that whole debate last episode, and that tension is exactly why somebody asked, is there another way? Here's the other answer: proof of stake. The idea is sneaky simple. Instead of proving you spent a fortune on electricity, what if you proved you had a fortune on the line? In proof of stake, there are no miners. There are validators. To play, a validator locks up a big chunk of the network's own coins as a deposit. That's the stake. The system then randomly picks a validator to propose the next block, and others double-check it. Do your job honestly, and you earn a reward, just like before. But try to cheat, approve fake transactions, play games, and the network destroys part of your deposit. That punishment even has a name: slashing. So the security flips. It's not cheating costs too much electricity, it's cheating costs you your own money. To attack the network, you'd have to buy up an enormous pile of the coin and then risk torching all of it. Financial suicide. Same principle as before, different lock. You don't trust the validator to be good, You trust that being bad is too expensive. And the headline benefit is the one everyone cares about. It uses almost no energy. There's no puzzle-solving arms race, so no warehouse of power-hungry machines. A validator can run on an ordinary computer. The catch some people raise, because influence follows how much you can stake, critics worry it can quietly tilt power toward the wealthiest holders, the rich get richer concern. Supporters say the rewards and protections keep it broad. Both sides have a point. Now, does swapping electricity for deposits actually hold up at scale? We have a massive real-world test. Ethereum, the second biggest crypto, ran on proof of work for years, mining just like Bitcoin. Then, in September 2022, it pulled off something wild. It switched the entire live network over to proof of stake, mid-flight, in an upgrade called the Merge. Same coins, same history, nothing lost. It just changed the engine underneath. The result was staggering. Ethereum's energy use dropped by roughly 99.95%, basically overnight. It went from a small country-sized power draw to using about as much electricity as 100 houses. That single change is the clearest proof that proof of stake can secure a giant network without the giant power bill. So that's the fork in the road the whole industry is standing at. Bitcoin keeps proof of work, brute force security you can measure in electricity, battle-tested for over 15 years. Ethereum and most newer coins choose proof of stake, far greener, cheaper to take part in, secured by money instead of megawatts. Neither is the right answer. They're two different bets on how to make strangers trustworthy. And here's the idea that ties this whole episode, this whole series together. In both systems, you are never trusting a CEO, a government, or anyone's promise to play fair. You're trusting one thing, that lying costs more than telling the truth, paid for either in electricity or in money on the line. That's the real magic under all of crypto. It quietly replaces trust me with math and incentives. Quick recap. The problem? No referee, so strangers have to agree on the truth and block double spends. Proof of work. Win a guessing race using electricity. Cheating would cost more than you'd gain. That's Bitcoin. Proof of stake. Put up a deposit. Cheat and it gets destroyed. Almost no energy. That's Ethereum after the merge, and most new chains. And the one idea to keep, you're not trusting people to be honest. You're trusting that dishonesty doesn't pay. So now you know how the network agrees, stays honest, and keeps no one in charge. But that leaves one very personal question we've been dodging this whole time. If there's no bank holding your account, then where is your crypto actually kept? And what happens if you lose the password? Is there a forgot my password button, or is it just gone? Next episode, wallets, keys, and not your keys, not your coins. The difference between truly owning crypto and just hoping somebody else keeps it safe for you. It's the one that can save people real money. If mining versus staking finally clicked, subscribe and roll straight into the next one in the Crypto Decoded playlist. See you there. Education and commentary only, not financial advice. Nothing here is a recommendation to buy, sell, mine, or stake anything. I'll see you in the next one.